Kscope 2015 in Florida.
So we're here at Kscope 15 in Florida, and I'm Todd Tritchler, Developer Outreach Advocate, and I have with me Stephen Feuerstein, who is both our team lead for the Developer Advocates and the PL SQL Developer Advocate.
You bet.
So Stephen, a couple of things here. You guys had the Yes SQL Day here at ODTUG. You had Tom Kite and yourself, obviously two heavy hitters in the Oracle community. How'd that go? I mean, I dropped in there, it looked really well attended.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of interest. You know, it's generally not hard to get people to pack a room to listen to Tom Kite. I struggle a little bit more, but generally do okay. The whole point around the Yes SQL Day was essentially to remind ourselves to go back to basics, not forget the fundamentals. And the fundamentals of building applications in Oracle databases, first and foremost about SQL, and leveraging SQL more fully. And Tom did a great job of reminding people of the key features, the importance of SQL. And then PL SQL is this really critical layer on top of the SQL that people these days, I think, especially those outside of the Oracle database world, tend to forget about or diminish the importance of. So I really spent a lot of time focusing on the critical aspect of PL SQL building APIs on top of your data, on top of your business rules, to provide security, data integrity, performance, and maintainability. And when you get right down to it, you can't do it without PL SQL. Or you can try to do it in Java, you can try to do it in these other languages, but it's pretty much hit or miss, and likely you'll miss.
Which is a great point, because I remember at that one meeting that we had, and Bryn was there, he said, hey, SQL has to run in something. You know, so PL SQL package encapsulating it, I thought that was a great point. And so, from your perspective, is it the maintainability of the package is best, or the security? I
think it's really the four pillars. So, if data is important to you, or as Bryn would put it, if you have a database of record, as opposed to, say, a database of what I ate for breakfast this morning and where I went on my vacation and so forth, that tends to be data that's only critical in the aggregate rather than the individual. Historically, Oracle has been a database of record technology in which every single transaction counts, every single row is critical. If that's the area of data you're working on, then there's no question you have to have security, you have to have integrity, you need performance, everybody needs performance, and the part that's probably least paid attention to over the years is the maintainability going forward. So I don't think you can take anyone out. I would say of those four, the part that needs more attention is the maintainability part, and how to write SQL and how to write PL SQL so that it not only works well today, but when you hand off that application to the next several generations of developers, they don't go crazy and have nervous breakdowns trying to sort out how to move the code forward.
As opposed to some of the JavaScript posts that I've seen about spaghetti code.
Oh, we all write spaghetti code, no question about it, but it's interesting, PL SQL is a relatively simple language that allows you to really avoid spaghetti code with a few simple techniques. And I think people tend to be dismissive a bit of PL SQL because it is a relatively simple, straightforward language. But it's funny to not value that instead. I value that because I'm not very sophisticated, I guess. But it just means that you can actually achieve really critical objectives without needing a PhD in computer science.
You don't have to make it too complex.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't have a PhD in computer science. I don't even have a master's.
Now, the interesting thing that I saw was Tom said, you know, SQL was actually invented to deal with all the fact that there was no SQL.
There was no SQL before SQL, that's right.
Exactly, and I was like, that's an interesting concept, because you get right throughout technology times, you get these full cycles where, okay, you're going from the mainframe to where it's all up there, and then client server, and then we come back full circle, and
to centralizing around hardware.
Exactly.
It's true that there's a lot of cycles, but I think that in terms of data, and in terms of the NoSQL movement, which more accurately, even by the people who created it at first, is not only SQL.
Exactly.
Not NoSQL. We're not just talking about a loop, because I think what's happened in the last 20 years, certainly the last 10 years, is that the kind of data that is being gathered now is not only qualitatively different in volume, it clearly is, but the kind of data that we're gathering is different, and the demands on the data are different. So it's easy for us in the database world to just snicker and laugh at people who talk about, well, eventually the data will be consistent. Eventual consistency. What a ridiculous idea. It's either committed or it's not committed. Come on. But it turns out it doesn't really matter that much. If you lose a tweet, if you lose a Facebook posting, if you lose whatever, it actually doesn't matter. Not only does it not matter because the person who entered that data
Has already
really doesn't
forgotten
care so
about
much.
it.
Yeah, it doesn't really care so much, but also because the critical aspect of the data is in that aggregate analysis. And so I think part of what we have to do is adjust to the fact that it is a different kind of reality.
Yeah, different use case.
A different use case, right. But it's a fundamental shift in humans and the way they're living in the world and interacting with computers. So there's some pretty fundamental stuff going on. I think Oracle's been great at keeping up. I mean, we've taken this complex, large, and you could say cumbersome foundation of a relational database piece of technology. And we haven't said, wow, stuff's really different, we need to rewrite the core. Andy Mendelsohn has been able to lead an effort that says, can we bolt on these pieces in a way that makes sense to people, in a way that's performant, in a way that now lets you use SQL against Oracle database and NoSQL and Hadoop, et cetera, and it turns out we can. Maybe we can't do it indefinitely, but for now, I think Oracle's done a great job at meeting that challenge and providing the kind of features that people need to even live in the modern world.
Excellent. Well, you just mentioned Andy, and that reminds me. One of the things that we just recently got is the Oracle Database Developer Choice Awards. So think of that as People Choice Awards, and Andy helped us out. It was Andy and Mike that helped us get Oracle Legal and everybody to push through a complete new model that basically means that the community can vote for the awards. So what's some of your favorite features about what we've pushed through on that in terms of?
So years ago, Oracle Magazine had a whole range of excellence awards, and they still do. And one of them was, for example, SQL Developer of the Year. I was honored to receive it twice. And that's great. They lapsed for a number of years, so there's not been as much of a focus on developers as there should have been for a number of years. And part of the other big shifts in society and technology is that application developers now run the show.
They're in the driver's seat.
Right, in a way that for years it was DBAs and IT, heads of IT and so forth. So one of the things when I rejoined Oracle was tasked to do is increase the focus on developers and support them better. So I went to Andy Mendelsohn, who heads the server technology division, and suggested that we kind of recreate the developer awards. And he's, sure, great, go for it. So what we've done is create a new set of awards with a different focus. It's not only on technical excellence, but it's also on community building. How do they engage in the community? How do they build it? And the other really key differentiator, being Developer Choice Awards, is that you will nominate people. We have aces and ace directors who will come up with a list of finalized nominees, the finalists, and then the developers out there will vote. So it really is going to be people who are recognized and known in the community, or have lots of relatives
that are driving.
Who will sign on to Oracle SSO, whichever, and you will vote for the winner. And so that has, hopefully it will have a different flavor and a different message to our community, which is to say, we value you, we need your help.
And it's not just Oracle saying, okay, we're picking our favorites.
Right.
Yeah, it's more of a question of the community is actually doing it.
Totally. So now we have to make sure the community does that, and we get them voting, and that's Todd's job, by the way, to make sure that everybody knows about it. But I think it will be quite successful, and once we get through this first round and it's validated, we'll start to expand the categories and pull more. Really, broadly speaking, what I want to do is recognize that there are experts like myself and Tom Kite and other members of my team, but we're just the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds, thousands of people who know PL/SQL as well as I do, and in given areas of expertise, are way better than I am. And I want to pull them up.
And it's not just about the experts. It's the angle of the community contributor. If say you are great at PL/SQL, and I mean, a lot of what you said goes right over my head, to be honest. But to be honest, when you look at any given crowd, a lot of times 80% of them are not the guys that need the intermediate and high level content. 80% of them are the guys that just want 101 level content getting started. And so these contributors, these awards, some of the guys that can win, it might just be the guy that is prolific in creating really good how-tos getting started content.
Right. You don't
and that
have
is
to be
just as important as, sorry, Stephen, the expert.
A great point. Well, I think the other way to look at it is that an expert is somebody who knows more than the people who are learning from them. It doesn't mean they have to know everything. I mean, we can't all be Tom Kite.
Exactly.
I think we can all be me, pretty much, because I don't think I do anything really amazing besides smile at the camera a lot. I'm good at that.
I don't know. We all got to develop a passion for killing invasive species and trees and stuff like that.
That would be great. That would be great. But yes, so I think it's true. We're trying to broaden out the concept of what it means to be a leader in the community, what it means to transfer your knowledge. And we want to set up ways inside Oracle, inside our community platforms, to reward you for doing that, so people see that you're doing this, so that you get recognition around the world and hopefully benefit your career. benefit your quality of life in work and outside of work. All these things are, hopefully will flow together.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it as well is because the ACEs and the ACE directors are helping us create like at least a level set of, okay, this person, at least at the level of content that they're talking about, they are quote unquote an expert or at least a valued contributor, and they have good tone in the community, so that it's not some guy that says, "Why didn't you read the manual?" Obviously we want somebody, if we're going to up level people and say, "Hey, we actually think these guys are doing a good job contributing in the community," we want somebody that actually is, at least
respectful
nice.
of the community.
So that will be great. And I mean, hey, if it happens to build a nice pipeline for Vicky and the Oracle ACE program of new people coming up, then that's a good thing too.
All the better, for sure.
Excellent. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time at the conference. I hope you enjoy the rest of the time and safe travels back.
Thank you. It's been a great conference as usual. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks.